Hi, David. As you know, in March of this year, the town voted to establish a charter commission to study the issue. So we have been doing that for the past couple of months. We're well past our one required meeting. This will be our fourth or fifth meeting now. And along the way, we've been asking various town representatives and public officials from the state to come in and offer us their observations and comments and respond to questions that different commissioners may have. So your appearance here tonight, we've been trying to arrange this for some time with David Karen. There's been schedule conflicts that haven't allowed us to get this done. So your appearance today is welcome, but a little bit of a surprise. So I think for the most part, I don't know if we had any opportunity to talk to you about preparing anything on your own, or if others here have prepared questions that they might have for you. I suspect that some may have. So we're pretty informal about that sort of thing.
Okay, well, I don't have anything prepared. I know that the town of Londonderry has been working on a charter revision. I know that SB2 is one of the issues on that you're taking up. I don't know if that's the specific purpose that you're taking up the charter.
It is the specific purpose.
I am the person in the Secretary of State's office that works on charter issues and Senate Bill 2. I won't claim to be an expert on either one, but probably know enough to be dangerous. Typically, when when towns take up charter issues, they come up with a proposal that they're going to put forth to the town. There's a requirement in the statute that the state review the proposal from the standpoint of meeting the general laws of the state. The charter amendment or revision is reviewed by our office for basically election-type issues. The Attorney General's office reviews it for general compliance with the state statutes, and then the Department of Revenue Administration also reviews the document mostly for money issues, budgets, and things like that. We communicate together when we receive the request from the town, have a discussion on our findings, and then we make a recommendation that the proposal is good to go as far as we're concerned, or there are some minor issues that need to be tweaked to make it presentable, or the proposal is just not consistent with state statute and therefore it's not going to fly. We tend to be a little proactive in helping the towns work with issues that we object to, and we try and help make that process go as smoothly as possible. So I'm not quite sure what questions you might have on Senate Bill 2. I think that there are pros and cons whether you have it or not. The pros for towns voting by Senate Bill 2 or the official ballot is that it allows the maximum number of people possible to vote on the issues before the town, including by absentee ballot. The downside is that typically what happens is during the deliberative sessions that are held, when the actual articles that are debated on the warrant, it really tails off, and that's been the experience in town after town throughout the state, that people just kind of forget about the deliberative part of that process and just simply plan to vote on what's presented to them on the ballot during town meeting. So what happens is that sometimes you get active minority groups or groups that are really motivated, that can come into a deliberative session and kind of control the process and amend the bills in a manner that suits them. The other thing that happens is that you get people that want to present an article to the town through the petition process, and they expect that it's going to come up the way they've written it, and what happens is during the deliberative process it gets amended, and so they may not even get to vote on an article that even resembles what they attempted to bring before the town. So those are just some issues that you might want to think about when you are trying to decide which way you want to go.
Thank you. Members of the Commission, if you have specific questions, this is a good opportunity. I know some of the questions we've asked in the past of different other people, and so you might think of questions in terms of repeating something you might have asked to Dave or Susan or others. So we'll go with that. Al?
Thank you. Dave, thanks for coming here, and I'm sorry, he actually called me this morning. I had just woke me up this morning with the call. But anyways, when you said control and amend the petition at a deliberative session, now can't you, will you already do that now by the RSA in a town meeting?
I'm not quite sure how Londonderry's town operates, but in a traditional town meeting format, where there is an article that is created by the selectmen in the town, the selectmen can put any items on there that they think are appropriate, and then there are additional articles that can be placed on the town by petition, and that process is spelled out in RSA 39:3. And that's how articles get placed on the warrant. And that process does not change with Senate Bill 2. In a traditional town meeting, then the warrant is taken up at town meeting, and the moderator, after Article 1, which usually pertains to the elective offices, will move on to Article 2, which might be the budget, and then Article 3 might be purchasing a fire truck, on down the line. The town people have an opportunity then to debate those items during the town meeting, and after the debate is over, the moderator calls for a vote, and the vote is taken, and that's the finality with the process, that whatever the town decides is on that vote is the way the article either passes or does not pass. Senate Bill 2 is a little bit different because you have a deliberative step in the process where the warrant is created. You have the articles on the warrant. They are discussed during the deliberative session, and they may be amended during the deliberative session, but the moderator will not call for a final vote on the article. That is left for the official ballot part of town meeting, where voters go to the polls, they vote for their candidates, but then they also vote for the articles that are on the warrant. So during the deliberative session, the articles are taken up, they're discussed, they can be amended, and they can be amended to be, they have to be germane. The amendments have to be germane, but they can dramatically change the substance of the proposed article on the warrant. However that ends up during the deliberative session is how that question then gets placed on the official ballot, which is presented to the voters at town meeting. And that's the difference in the process.
So would you say that an article at town meeting would be amended, and you say it has to stay consistent with the wording and germane to what the subject is? So if it was to raise and appropriate $50,000 to buy tents for local Boy Scout troops, just to make something up that's completely innocuous, town meeting could change it to buy tents and other associated camping gear, because then it's still germane to the subject. And they could also, the town meeting could change the amount from $50,000 to $10,000. But they couldn't change it, as in a deliberative session, to the words 2C. Is that we've been having a lot of discussion about the 2C modification on articles.
That has happened, and I think it has held. I'm trying to recall a conversation I had with somebody in the Attorney General's office on that particular issue, and I believe that was allowed to stand. But you may want to ask somebody from the AG's office to come in and talk to you about that particular issue.
So what you're saying is, with a petition article from a citizen, is today, when a citizen brings the petition article, it comes into the town council and it gets moved to the town meeting. The original warrant, the exact wording that person placed, goes in front of the voters at town meeting, which at that point you can make amendments, changes, and everything. But you have the official wording from the person that issued the petition. But what you're saying is, at a deliberative session, the official wording gets here, and if there's a group, the group that theirs changes it, and then it goes to the ballot. So we never, if you're not involved in the deliberative session, you never really get to see what the actual original wording was, right? It just goes what the deliberative came up
That's
with.
right.